Happy Friday. We made it. We had some US news last night, CPI, and they came out as forecast, but we still had a bit of reaction from the market. And finally, the yen made a move. Now, we've got some really good stuff lining up today, possibly. So I'll go through my charts and show you exactly what I'm seeing, and hopefully you'll see similar kind of stuff. All right. Let's get my mug out of the way. Right. Okay, so we start at the top. Aussie yen. As I said, yen made a big move yesterday. Unfortunately, it didn't give us a chance to get in. It just tanked and kept on. Well, the yen got stronger and kept on getting stronger throughout the day. So the first one we'll look at is Aussie yen. I'll go through this quite quickly. A lot of them are quite similar, but and they have similar setups. So we can move quite quickly, and there's quite a lot to get through. So Aussie yen, as you can see, hasn't pulled back at all yet. Well, maybe you could call that a pullback. That's the news. Does that really count? I don't know. Probably not. It's just more of a glitch. So the good news is we should get a pullback sometime, and it's going to be people taking profits, a bit more liquidity for the market, and then pull the prices up, and then it will take it down again. So 382 pullback lines up perfectly with the 4 hour 50, 1 hour 50 catching up in a few hours. Perfect looking CBO, really nice looking, really good setup. And if you take this as wave 1, which I will take it as, then the wave 3 is 1.272 extension for a profit target for our wave 3. This is our wave 1, wave 2 pullback in the setup, and wave 3 down to 1.272, or just before. I always do it just before. That's a 4%, so that's really nice. Also, the daily pivots there as well. And that, of course, means that people who trade daily pivots will also be trading the same as us. So that will help our position. And it lines up perfectly with our entry. So that looks like a really good setup. Let's hope it pulls back in the next few hours. Let's get Aussie Kiwi. We haven't looked at this one much. It's been kind of going sideways, but it had a bit of a breakout yesterday, so it's going higher. So we'll look at, hoping that will continue. We'll look at an hourly chart. Got a nice uptrend, and the MACD after this pullback here below the 0 line, now trending up, and high highs with high highs. So that's looking really good for continuation. What have I done here? I'm looking for, we had the ACBB, so we can't do that again. So the only chance we've got here is for a pip snatcher. I was getting carried away, thinking we do a second ACBB, but we can't do that. So pip snatcher, around the pivots, S1, R1, before R1, so 1% will come in about here somewhere. For R1, perfect. So there's a nice chance there for a quick 1-to-1 pip snatcher on the pullback towards, we don't need this fibs anymore. This trend line seems to be pretty good, holding quite well. 1 hour pulling up, testing the pivot, that could play out quite nicely. Keep an eye on that one. Let's go to Aussie dollar. Breaking out of this, it's been an uptrend. Breaking above this level here, which has been quite strong in the past. So looking for a bit more strength to continue for the Aussie, and also the dollar weakness to continue. We'll see a few dollar pairs coming up. So since we've gone below on the MACD, since we've gone below this 0 line, we've been trending upwards nicely. So MACD has been kind of reset, and then it's being charged up, and it's still going strong, although it is below this high here. But that's kind of called a reset, below the 0 line, and then off it goes again. Right, so not the prettiest of setups by any means, but if after going sideways for so long, if the dollar weakness continues, which it seems to, as I said, the news was as forecasted, so we responded and then came back again, and then trended up. So that continues, nice little pip snatcher, quick 1-to-1, 1 hour 50 catching up with the pivot, as it pulls back down. That could be a nice little pip snatcher for later on. As you can see, there's lots of possible setups. Pick the best, whichever one you like the most, sets up best for you. CAD yen, another yen. Right, really bearish day yesterday after that sitting going sideways for many days. 1 hour chart, trend line strongly broken yesterday, which we saw yesterday morning, and it just never pulled back. So now it's time for pullback to 382. Again, this will be a consider this a wave one. It's never really pulled back. 382 fib lines up well. The daily pivot's also there. 150 coming down. The 450 is quite a way behind, so you can take this as an IBO to be safe. IBO short, and that will be a bit of a safe stop loss. Or you can take this as a pip snatcher or even a hyper trade and trade off the pivot, in which case you can pre-stop a bit closer. Or you could take this as a, depends how you class a CBO, because the 450 is not too far behind. By the time it comes down here, it might be within a 0.5. So you might get that class as a CBO, in which case you can again just have it behind the 618. Very similar positions, see how it plays out. Looking nice, as long as we get our pullback. Right, Euro CAD. The trudge upwards continues. We're getting near these highs now. We're kind of at these highs. So is it stalling or has it still got momentum? All right, we look at the MACD. We see it has been dropping off. And after yesterday, Euro got some more bullish strength after this pullback, and it's ramping up again. So although we do have a overall MACD divergence there from this high here, if you just look at the last few highs, it's still going strong. So not perfect by any means, but it seems to have got a new lease of life. And this could be a nice little pitch snatcher long. 150 is quite a long way behind. It needs to catch up. Euro CAD is for another 8 hours away from now setting up in the UK session. So yeah, that gives it plenty of time to roll over, pull down, 150 to catch up, and that might be a nice quick pitch snatcher. Euro yen. Okay, nice yen run again. Very bearish action on Euro yen. And we go to the 1 hour chart, and we have you could say this is a wave one, a wave two, this is a wave three. So it depends how you look at it. You might just say this is just a bit of noise around breaking through that trend line. So if you do take the safe option and take this as the trade as a wave three, wave four is a pullback, and then you'll be trading wave five, which is to the 618 extension of the wave three. And that means that your probably target won't be as great, but it still looks pretty good. You can get a bit tighter. Get that there somewhere. Come on, move. And well, you can take this all as wave one, like we did with Aussie yen, and you can trade right down to here somewhere. There seems to be plenty of room to the downside. Get the daily chart, lots of room down to these lows to get a good trade out of it. So Euro yen is looking good as well. Euro dollar. It was creeping up the last couple of days, and then yesterday we had a big bullish bit of action there. What does the MACD tell us? Again, it hasn't quite crossed below the zero line, so I'm not that keen on it, but it has been going sideways just above the zero, and then this new lease of life up here. So a very bullish action because of the USD news yesterday. So a pitch snatcher is the best option, I think. But the 1 hour 50 has a lot of catching up to do. So we see how that one plays out. If that your USD can happen any time of day, really, but probably happen later on in the day. For me, 8 hours plus, so it gives plenty of time for the 1 hour 50 to catch up. Quick wick down, could be a nice quick 1-to-1 pitch snatcher. Pound yen. Very similar, big bearish day on the pound yen. And a very similar looking picture here on the hourly chart. This time we have the 450 lagging a little bit behind. Might catch up enough by the time the 1 hour 50 retraces back towards our fib and our daily pivots here as well. So that's looking really good for, we could probably tighten the stop a bit, depending where the 4 hour 50 is an entry, but imagine it'd be about here somewhere. Maybe put a stop behind the pivot, depending on your rules and what strategy you're going to play, whether it's a pip snatcher, a CBO or an IBO. Either way, that's looking like a really nice setup as well. So that could be a good one. If you get a choice of the ends, see which one suits you best, which one looks the best to you. And of course, which one meets your strategy. So one with the CBO would be the preferred option because then you can have a tighter stop. Right, pound dollar. It's trundling off this trend line and it's making its way along. Kind of stalling here a bit maybe. Bit of a bullish day yesterday. We look at the MACD, it's getting shouts below the 0 line and it's charged up and it's on its way up again. So again, due to that USD weakness, we could find a nice little pip snatcher here, 1-to-1. Go to keep again. Similar story, very bearish day yesterday. Hopefully that'll continue. And we need to pull back to 382, lines up roughly with the pivot. The 450 is a little bit further behind. So again, you might have to put that behind here for an IBO. Either way, so there's lots of options there. That's another good one. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD broke through this support line here yesterday. Hopefully that will continue. What do we have on the hourly chart? I'm going sideways. Bearish here. Quick pip snatcher short. And the 1 hour 50 catches up, which is looking pretty good. That could be a quick 1-to-1 short. As you see, there's lots of choice, so which is always nice. Friday is always a good day to be in and out of your trade before the close, so you don't hold it over the weekend. Dollar yen, very similar story. Hasn't really been on our charts because it's been kind of, hasn't really pulled back much. It's been a bit funny for the last few days, but we had a very bearish day yesterday. And again, we can have, this is a wave 1, 2, 3, 4 is a pullback, and wave 5, so 0.618 extension would be as far as I'd push it. There are better yen options out there, so not the best one, but it still looks good. Put in the secondary. One quick look at Euro Aussie, which may set up a bit later. Wait through the 1 hour 50, pull back to the daily 50, pull back to the daily 50. And stalled there. Is it looking to go down? Let's have a look on the 1 hour chart. Pretty much going sideways, and the MACD is showing us big MACD divergence. These are lower highs, so maybe we can't really count that. So it looks like it might go short. If it does, we need to see a nice clean breakdown, pull back, and that could be a nice CBO short because that 4 hour 50 is just behind us. So there we go. Let's see if my camera works. Does it work? No? Okay. All right. So lots of things to look at. Keep an eye on those charts. Try and get in and out by end of the business today. Close the markets today. Wish you all the best. Have a great weekend. I'll catch up with you next week. I'll see you then. Take care.